In today's Makeup Over 50, I'm sharing my mini haul from Ulta Summer Sale, plus a few other products that I picked up along the way. I'm doing a full face of makeup, chatting and having coffee along the way. I hope you'll join me. Welcome back. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I recently took advantage of the Ulta Summer Sale and picked up quite a few things online. Plus, I've been grabbing a few things at my local drugstore, and I'll be trying on a lot of them today. Most of them are first impressions. I have no idea how they're going to work out, so we can do this together. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you'd like to be, just go ahead and click that red button down below, and if you'd like to be notified when I do a new video, click that notification bell and YouTube will give you a heads up when there's something new for you to watch. I'm going to start off today with the Milani eyeshadow primer. Just a little bit is all you need. For face primer today, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Face Primer. I haven't used this before, and you guys might know I'm having a current love affair with the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Primer. I'm still trying to find other primers that I like as well, so we'll see how this works out today. Put a little bit on the back of my hand and start blending that in. It has a real silky feel, quite a bit of slip to it. Oh, it feels kind of refreshing. I like to make sure that I get it in really well under my eyes because that's one of the areas where my face has a lot of movement. We call those the active areas of the face. I want to make sure that whatever I put underneath there, primarily my concealer, is going to sit and stay for the day. This really is the morning for me, so I'm having my coffee. Hope you are too, or something fun to drink. The next thing I'm going to put on is my L'Oreal True Match Color Corrector. This is in the color Peach. The reason I'm doing it now is I want it to be able to really settle into my under eye area while I'm doing my eye makeup. So I just put just a small amount in the purple areas underneath my eyes. Just draw that on really easily. This is not new to me. I've been using this for quite a while, and I kind of like it. For eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using a Revolution palette that I picked up in the Ulta sale, and this is the Forever Flawless in the colorway Optimum. And the reason that I picked this up is that it really has a lot of nice, cool tones in the palette. So this is a first impression for me. I haven't used this, so we'll just jump right in and see how it goes. I chose this palette because it has a lot of nice cool tones. You know, I'm really having a hard time finding very many cool tone palettes out there these days. It seems like we're in a sea of warm tones, but I'm really enjoying the cool tones in this palette, or at least looking at them. So I'm going to start out with the crease here in this color called Perfect, and just tap my crease brush in there, tap off the excess, and start working that into the upper crease area of my lid. Now when I release my eyes, the upper part of my eye falls down over the movable lid. So I try to make sure that I work that crease color way up towards the upper part of that crease area. Elsewise, I just totally lose the color in the fold. So I'm working that crease color way up underneath my brow, almost to the brow, but just not quite. I'm leaving just a little bit of area right there to put a highlight in towards the end of the eyeshadow. Next, I'm going to take my flat brush and go into this color right here called Peak, and just tap my brush in there and then start working that on the movable lid. This is kind of a shimmery, creamy color. It's going on really nicely. It seems to be a lot of payout with the shadows in this palette. Has just a little bit of shimmer in it, but not too much, not over the top. I've got a nice base going. The next I'm going to take my brush and go into this color Flawless and start defining the outside corner of my eye. Now this is kind of a more detailed brush. You can see it has sort of a flat top, and I like using it for more detailed areas in my eyeshadow looks. So I'm just going to place that right on the outside corner and start dragging that in to the upper third of my lid. Next, I'm going to take my blending brush and start blending that into that crease color and lid color, not moving the color a whole lot, just softening up the edges. To tell you guys what I woke up to this morning. I live in a tiny little town up in Northern California. Really, there's truly only 500 people in the town I live in. And I have a little place that's literally right on the cliffs overlooking the ocean. So it's me and a field and a little bit of lawn and the ocean, you know, beyond the cliffs. So it's very, very rural out here, and there's a lot of nature. So this morning I got up and grabbed my coffee and looked out. I have huge picture windows. I'm drinking my coffee, and here come two deer, a 4-point buck, 4 or 5-point buck, and his little wife. And they're just strolling across the lawn. I'll tell you, what a way to wake up, huh? So relaxing. So I'm just going to continue to blend that out. You know, these shadows, I can say there's been a little bit of fallout, but the blending ability is really huge. I haven't had any stickiness, no uneven application. It just has worked together really, really well. Next, I'm going to take a very small angled brush and I'm going to tap it into this dark blue color right here called Greatest. Just tap that in, load the brush up, make sure I take off the excess. I'm going to drag that along the upper lash line about 1/3 of the way in, and then I'm going to angle that up into that outside corner. So we kind of have just sort of a little wing going on there. Now I'm going to go back in with my blending brush and just blend that wing area very softly into those other colors in that crease area. Not moving the color too much, just softening up the edges. Now I'm going to take my flat brush again and I'm going to tap it into the same color Peak, that kind of champagne-y, sparkly champagne-y color. And I'm just going to touch that underneath the arch of my eyebrow. So that's it for the eyes for right now. It's looking kind of pretty and soft. I might enhance that blue a little bit towards the end, but we'll see how it goes. For foundation today, I'm going to be trying the CoverGirl Matte Made Foundation. I've heard a lot about this. This is the very first time I've tried it. I've actually owned it for a while, but I wanted to save it for a video, you know, to share my first impressions with you. I picked this up in the color L60 and I've swatched it on the back of my hand and it looks like a perfect match. So we'll see how it goes. Put a little bit on the back of my hand. Go ahead and start dabbing that over my face. And I always make sure that I get the outside areas of my face where I have a lot of sunspots, because that's where I need extra coverage. The formula feels a little stiffer than a lot of other foundations, so we'll see how it blends out. I'm going to start blending this with my foundation brush and see how it works into the skin. Oh, it looks like it's having some nice coverage. Can you see that? The color match looks really pretty good. And in the areas like the deep crevices that I have on either side of my face, my marionette lines, I try not to put a whole lot of product there because it seems to gather up and want to have a party on its own. So I work the foundation into the flatter areas of my face first and then just sort of shear it out in the areas that seem to collect a lot of product. So I've got that all worked in with my foundation brush. Right now it's looking a little bit uneven and settling in my pores just a little bit, but sometimes that gets fixed with the beauty sponge, which I like to finish off all my foundations with because it just gives it such a nice, smooth, satiny finish. So let's go ahead and work the sponge over this and see how it affects the way the foundation looks. That's smoothing it out a little bit. Can you see it at all? I know it's kind of tough to see it on the camera. It is evening out the look of the foundation on my nose a little bit, but I do have a little bit of retin-A peeling right now, so that could be adding to the issue. So it's looking a little patchy, particularly around my nose and the upper cheek area, and I'm not sure if it's the foundation on my skin or if it's the primer. It could be the primer. That's one thing when you mix new products, you're just not really quite sure. But I'm going to leave it alone for right now and see if it doesn't kind of melt in and even out a little bit on its own. The next new product I'm going to try, I'm really excited about it. It's the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Now this has been such a popular product and had so much buzz on it. I picked up the color Light Peach, which looks pretty light, so it probably will have quite the brightening effect. I haven't used this before, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to, ooh, it's got a big buckfoot applicator, as they say. Has a nice little packaging, and I'm just going to start out with very, very little just in the corner of my eye, because it's always best to start out with just a little bit before you add more. I'm just going to start tapping that out. Wow, right now that looks really, really light on me. So we'll see how it goes. This formula feels a lot stiffer than the other products I've been using, but it looks like the color is going to sort of be okay. We'll see. Started out really, really light, but it seems to be blending out. I'm going to go in now with my blending sponge and just sort of tap that out. I really like the finish that you get with the blending sponge and with under eye concealers. It just sort of gives it a nice satiny finish. So what do you guys think? The color seems to be okay. It seems to be a little bit more drying than the other concealers I used. I'm going to go ahead and set it. I'm not sure that I need to, but I'm going to anyway with just a little bit of this e.l.f. HD finishing powder that I really love. So I'm just going to put a little on my brush, tap it off, and just place it underneath there really gently. And then I'm going to take all the excess product off the brush and just brush that off really quickly. And we'll see how it wears. For bronzer, I'm using a new product, new to me. This is the Revolution Ultra Bronze, and you can see it's a very flat matte bronzer and about 2 to 3 shades darker than my skin, maybe 3 to 4 darker. Seems to have a nice creamy finish, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to tap just a little bit onto my brush, tap it off, then I'm going to start right up at my hairline and just start blending that in really softly. Okay, I'm not liking this brush for a bronzing brush, so I'm going to go ahead and use a brush that's probably larger than I should be using, but seems to work a little bit better. And I'm just going to work that in right around my hairline, down the sides of my face, a little bit into the hollows of my cheeks, and then down, cutting that area in my chin and down my neck a little bit. This cutting that area underneath our chin really kind of helps define that chin line. I know mine's a little bit softer than it used to be. So this really helps to define that chin area, and then blend, 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 so you don't have a sharp line of demarcation there. For blush today, I'm really kind of excited about this. It's a brand that I've used a lot before, Milani, and I've used a lot of their blushes before, but not this one. This is the blush in Luminosa, and of course, this is the one that everyone says is a dupe for the NARS Orgasm Blush. So I haven't used it. This isn't a first impression for me. If you've used it, put a comment down below and tell me how you like it. So I'm just going to tap my brush into that very gently, tap off any excess, and then I'm going to start applying it to the outside upstairs area of my cheeks. If you watch my blush video, you'll know that I really favor putting the blush in this upper area. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it. It really talks about how you can apply blush and take some years off your face when you do it. So I'm just tapping that into the outside and up area of my face, just a little bit. Boy, there's a lot of payout in this blush. Isn't that a pretty color? I'm liking it. I might get a crush on this blush. So then I'm going to go back in with the same brush that I was doing my bronzer with and just blend that out. So I'm going out and up with the blending, out and up. And I really don't bring any past the middle of my irises. I don't bring any past there. I want to keep it out and up. And that kind of gives us sort of a face look, a facelift kind of look. Ooh, I think that's pretty. What do you think? For highlight today, I'm going to use a tried and true product. This is the Wet n Wild Golden Crown highlight, which is just really pretty on my skin. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush, tap it off, and then just very gently tap it on that upstairs area of my cheek, and then bring it just a little bit over the eyebrow. Then I'm going to go back in with that big blending brush again and just blend that in and kind of sheer that glow out, so it's just kind of a subtle lit within look. With that same highlighter, I'm going to go in with a tiny little pencil brush and just tap it in very gently, and I'm going to go to the inside corner of my eyes and just put a little bit of glow in there. And I like doing this with that highlight because then it really ties in the whole color scheme in that area. I want to say that just in the time that I've done the bronzers and the blush and the highlighter, that foundation has settled in and it looks a little bit nicer. You know how sometimes the warmth of your skin can really smooth things out? It looks a lot better around my nose than it did. It was really patchy when I first put it on, but it's really kind of evening out. I'll bet you the finishing spray is really going to make it look even better. I'm going to tight line the eyes with my Ulta gel liner in black. I love these. If you haven't picked one of these up, you might give it a whirl. You can get them on sale sometimes at a great price point, and the sharpener that Ulta sells, this one is like one of the best sharpeners I've ever used. I think it's $2, so it's such a good value. So I'm just going to run that pencil right underneath my lash line, right at the base of my lashes. And that's going to help set up the mascara to really have a nice root base dark look. You can see already just between the two eyes how much more defined the lashes are on this side than this side. So I've done my tight lining on both eyes and curled my lashes, but before I put my mascara on, I'm going to take a thin pencil brush and I'm going to dip it right back into this dark blue color that I used in the outside corner of my eye. Just take a little bit on my brush and I'm going to run it right under the outer third of my lower lashes and then kind of pull it up and connect it with where that dark blue is on the upper lash line. So I'm just going to smudge that a little bit and connect that up. And the other side. For mascara today, I have another product I'm kind of excited about. It's the Essence Lash Princess. I've heard so much about this and it was on sale in the Ulta Summer Sale and I thought, what the heck, why not? So I got the purple tube and the green tube. Today we're going to be trying the purple. I've heard so many wonderful things. So we'll see. This is absolutely the first time I've opened this mascara. So, and of course when you're applying mascara, you want to go down to the root and then wiggle it up as you go. And that'll help to separate and really give a dark base to your lashes. Wow! Boy, this mascara really gives you length. This is amazing. Look at how much length. And that's just one coat. Wow, you guys, that mascara is amazing. Look at this is 2 coats. It really is a great mascara, and I think I got it for like $3 from the Ulta Summer Sale. I think it's generally $5, so it's such a great buy. I went ahead and lined my lips with the NYX lip liner in the color Natural. If you haven't used this one, you might want to check it out. The reason I love it is because it goes with everything. It's kind of a pinky, browny, neutrally. It's just gorgeous. So I lined my lips with that, and then I used the NYX Pinup Pout lipstick in the color Darling. I think this is such a great shade. So this foundation is looking better than I originally thought it would. It's really kind of evening out and it seems to not be settling too much in my little nooks and crannies. I'm not sure that I need to set it, but I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of this e.l.f. HD powder just in the T-zone area where I sometimes get a little shiny. I'm going to finish off today with the NYX Matte Finish Finishing Spray. This is new to me. I got this in the Ulta Summer Sale. Haven't used it once, haven't even sprayed, so we'll see how this goes. Really fine mist. Not so much of a smell, you know, nothing to say, ooh, that's wonderful. And seems to have settled everything in pretty good. So here we have the finished look. I'm still blown away by that mascara. Can you guys believe it? Really, I've been in love with the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara, but I think this might have dethroned my CoverGirl. This stuff's amazing. And the CoverGirl Matte Made Foundation, I'm kind of liking it the more I have it on. We'll see how it wears today. It really smoothed out once I blended it with the sponge and it just sat on my face for a bit. I'm liking that. The blush is, of course, very beautiful. And I'll have to say that when I was working with the Revolution palette, the eyeshadow palette, I was thinking about my Artist Pro and how much this is so similar for a much lower price point. Really liking this palette. I think it has a lot of great shimmers and a lot of great mattes and some great color combinations that you could put together some really pretty looks. Liking this whole look today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found some helpful and useful information. It was really great to have you. If you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to be subscribed, just go ahead and click that red button down below. And if you'd like to be notified when I do a new video, click that notification bell and YouTube will give you a little heads up. Thank you so much for joining me on this little get ready with me on my little Ulta haul for their summer sale. Next time that comes around, check it out. I got some great bargains there. It always just tickles me when you stop by and spend a little bit of your day with me. So make it a great day, a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.